Hey campers, Georgia, back in the man cave. Woot! Shock and horror, right? Well, today I'm sitting here and I've been putting together a list of things I'm going to need for a camping trip coming up. Well, part of that is I used to have a black diamond headlamp, and for some reason I've misplaced it. I was so impressed with the last one I had that I felt I needed to get a newer one. Well, I did. So here it is. Let's check it out. So here it is here. And it's the, hopefully you can see that, the Black Diamond COSMO 300 lumen headlamp. Now, there is a lot of headlamps out there. And I've looked at a couple of them. And like I said, I've owned this company's headlamps before. And I was not disappointed. It really worked well and it really impressed me. And of course, unfortunately, like I said, I've lost it. I can't find it. So, got me another one. Not quite the same model. This is the Cosmos, and it's the 300 lumen, and you can see it here. And I can tell you, compared to my other one, it's a lot smaller, more compact, and a little bit more lightweight. But here you can see it here. And you can see it has multiple lenses and lights, obviously. Headband, and with the Black Diamond label on it. It clips onto there. And you can see up here you've got all your controls on the top. And we'll go through that. A lot of people struggled with them. And when I bought the last one, I did a video on it with the instructions. One thing you've got to remember about the Black Diamond lamps is that when you turn it off, whatever mode you had it in is what it's going to turn back onto. So it has a couple of different modes, and we'll go through that. But let's have a look, see at some of the dimensions and information about it, and then we'll get into using it, hopefully. We'll quickly go through some information about it. It is a maximum 300 lumen lamp, which is pretty powerful. For me, more than enough for what I need in the outdoors. But you might need more, and they do have bigger, more powerful styles. They have many different styles. I just chose this one, right price, and met what I wanted out of a headlamp. One of the things that I've heard people complain about is weight. You know, they put it on their head or, onto their hat, pushes the hat down. Feel the weight on it and tends to slide down. This guy is really, really light. Weight, 4 ounces. Nothing really. And you're not going to notice that on your head as much as you would some of these other guys. You can get a really powerful headlamp, but you have to deal with the weight. The dimensions, and don't be fooled by what they say on the websites. On the websites, they give you the product dimensions in the box. 5 by 4 by 2. That doesn't help you. The dimensions of this are going to be 2 1/4 by 1 1/4 by 1 inch. Pretty small, and as you can see if you look in my hand, it's fairly small. So size wise, good for me. And as you can see on here, you have your main LED, and then you have 2 others here for other settings. Now the settings that they have 3 settings. Low is 6 lumens, medium is 150, and the max is 300. So you have 3 different settings there. They do have the red lamp on it as well for night vision, that sort of thing. When you're in a camp or something like that and you don't want to disturb anybody else in the tent that you're in or anything like that, the red light comes in really handy. The other thing about the different light settings is how far you can see with them. Like I said, they had the low, the medium, and the high. In the low, 8 meters, medium, 52 meters, and high, 74 meters. It's quite a distance. Do you need that? I don't know if I need to see that far. If I'm walking around in the bush, I want to see what's reasonably close to me, not that far. But you never know, you may just need it. With the 3 different settings, you're going to have different battery life. And this does take 3 AAA batteries. So you got to keep that in mind. It's not a rechargeable. You have to replace the batteries. About 200 hours on the minimum setting, 17 hours on the medium or mid-range setting, and on the high setting, the 300 lumens, you could probably get about 7 hours out of it. Now, it doesn't sound very much, but 7 hours is a long time. Like I said, it has a strap on it, and you can obviously adjust the length of the strap to suit you. You know, when you put it on, you don't want a light that is going to be too tight on you, because that'll bug you after a while. So be careful how you do that. And then also, if you look at the side here, you can adjust the angle. So if it's sitting on your head straight like this or slightly up, you can adjust it by just clicking it down. So it's going to sit down like that. And it does have a couple of different settings you can see there. Nice to have. Why do I go with a headlamp? I've found that if you have a flashlight, for example, and you're using a flashlight to get around, you've just lost the use of one hand or your mouth, putting it in your mouth and holding it there while you need both hands to do two things. Using a headlamp, hands-free. You have it on your head. You don't have to worry about how I'm going to hold something to do it or whatever, like, you know, in the dark. That's the big advantage of a headlamp. So let's get to the hard part now. There's a couple of things. Your controls are on the top here. And if you look on the top, it has a button on the side and then this kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, but it's roughed up button up here. And you can lock your light. So the great thing about that, you can lock the light, put it in your bag, in your pocket, anything like that, and it's not going to accidentally turn on. So we'll go through that. It's not easy. One thing I did tell you is that it does have AAA batteries, and the problem that people have is they look at it and they look at the top here and then they pull this down and they go, I can't open that. They think that this piece here, the back piece opens. The trick is the front opens away, the front half of it. So don't get confused by looking at this and saying, well, there's not enough room in here for me to unclip it. So you get your finger, if you look there, you have that little clip, pushes out, the front of the light comes out. So I'll do that quickly here. And it doesn't pop out easy, you can see there. And here's what I'm talking about. This is attached to the head strap. The front piece moves on a pivot this way. And you can see the 3 AAA batteries in there. And yes, this is waterproof. Before we get into the actual use of it and how to change the settings and everything, it does come with a big sheet of instructions. And that's simply because it's in about 10 different languages. But they do have your universal pictures on how to use it. So we're going to go through that quickly and we'll check out how that works. So first off, like I said, on the top here are the controls for it. And this is actually the turn it on, turn it off. And this chooses the mode. Now there's different things you can do with both. One is you can hold this and that'll change the setting of where you are. So if you're using the main lamp and you hold this in, it will dim it or bring it up to bright. Full bright, by the way, includes that and that lamp, and you'll see that now. Down at the bottom here is the red light. The other thing that you have to remember is that you can lock it and unlock it, and then you have modes to just turn it on and off. When you lock it, you want to hold both of these down. And I'm going to show you right now, I'm going to turn it on just by hitting this once. Whatever the last setting I had is what it'll turn on to. So turning it on, I'm just going to hit you, and I can't remember what the last setting was. So let's just do that. One quick hit, and it's on. By the way, watch your eyes here, it gets pretty bright. Now, if I hold that same top big button in, the brightness of the light will change, and you'll see it here. Do you see that? So I can hold it in and stop it, and hold it in and stop it. So you can, whenever you release, when you're at the brightness you want, you just release the button, and it'll stay there. If I turn the light off, it's off. Turn it back on. That was the last setting I had. So if I change that setting to bright and I turn it off, when I turn it on now, it's going to be at that same setting. That is why you need to be careful. Don't face it towards you when you turn on the light. If it's on bright, it's going to hurt. And you can see there, that was the last setting. The little button on top changes which mode I'm in, which lamp I'm going to use. I shouldn't say mode, which lamp. So I hit it once quick. Oops, I'm going to go back to where I was. That's where I was. I forgot that I had this little one on bright. So when I hit it, it's on bright. And it's just that little light at the top here, including whatever setting I have on the big lamp. If I hit it again, it's to the red lamp. If I hold this in again, it adjusts the brightness of the red lamp. So I'm going to hold it in and you'll see it adjust. See that? There is another mode, and that is the flashing mode. No matter which lamp you have on, if you hit the button, this button here, twice quickly, it'll start to flash. Okay, so in the strobe mode, when you turn it on, I'm going to turn it on. I can't remember what setting was. I'm on the red, and I hit it twice quickly. 1, 2. Now it's strobing. If I hit the little button on top, it'll change to the other light. Remember that the little button cycles through the different lamps. So I go to the different lamps, and there it is there. And I go again, I'm on a different one. I go again, and I'm back to the red. Now I turn it. You can't turn it off when it's on strobe. You can't turn the strobe off by hitting it twice. Now, if I hit it now, it'll turn the light off, the big one. So I hit it once, and it turns off. When I turn it back on, it's on the regular mode again. I want to go to strobing, hit it twice. I can cycle through the lights, go there, and back to the red. Turn it off with one click. Turn it back on, it's on the regular red. If I go like this, and I turn it off, it's going to stay on that guy when I turn it back on. I want that guy to strobe. Hit it twice quickly. Once to turn it off, turn it back on. So you get the idea. If you're looking at the top here, the big one controls the mode of the light that you're in. The little one cycles through the lights. Now, I told you about the locking on it. To lock this, if I put this in my bag right now, let's say I stuff it in there in my pocket and my car key is there, and the car key actually hits it. It's on. Wandering around doing whatever you're doing, 8 hours later, the battery is dead. To get away from that, you can simply lock it so that you can't just turn it on by an accidental one button hit. See the two top buttons? Hold them both in. Okay. Flashed at you. It's locked. One time hit, flashes. So let's go quickly through all the modes. Now, I'm going to lock it, and then we'll go from it being locked to working all the way through, unlocking it, going through the different modes, and then back to locking it. Right now, it turns on. Turn it off. Hold the two buttons together for 2 seconds, and the red light will flash. See that? I release the buttons, it turns off. If I accidentally hit the top button, the red light will flash and turn off. The other button, red light flashes and turns off. That's telling you it's locked. To unlock it, you have to hold them both in for 2 seconds, and it'll turn on to the mode that you were last in. So I'm going to hold it for 2 seconds. There it is. It went to the mode that I was last in. Now, hitting that top button just once, I'm in regular mode now. So I can turn it on and off with the big button. If I hit the big button, I turn it on, and then hit it twice quickly, it'll go to flashing. See that? Okay, now I use that little button to cycle to the next flash, back to that one, and we can turn it off with just one hit. When I turn it back on, it'll just be in the regular mode. Change the mode, little button. The little white light, the red light. I'm in the red light, and I want to go to flashing. Hit it twice on the big button. 1, 2. Go to the next mode. It's in flash. turn it off, turn it back on. That was the last mode I was in. So it's pretty straightforward. It'll take getting used to, but there's only 2 buttons to deal with, and it's a double hit on the 1 button. That's about it. Now remember, I had to unlock it. So now I'm done, I'm packing up, I'm going home, whatever. I'm going to turn it off. Just 1 hit, doesn't matter which mode it is. Just remember that whatever mode it is what it's going to turn on to. So I have it off now, and I'm going to go back and hit the 2 buttons twice again, and the little red light will start to flash. There you have it. And it turns off. Now I know I'm locked. I can hit 1 button and the red light flashes and goes off. No matter what I do, it'll just flash a couple of times and go off. Okay, I need it now. Hold them both in together for 2 seconds. 1, 2, whatever the last mode was, it'll change to, and now you can turn it back on with the 1 button hit. The Black Diamond COSMO 300 lumen headlamp. Not a bad little guy at all. Couple of things you should know. AAA batteries, don't mix and match. In other words, if your battery's getting low, don't take one battery, a good battery, and put it in there. Change them all. That will affect the way it works. It does have a reserve on it, so when it starts to get low, there's certain things you won't be able to do. And by the way, when you use batteries and things like that, don't throw them in the trash. Recycle them. It's always good practice. You don't want that stuff out in our dumps and things like that. Not good. The strap is washable. You can wash it and just hang to dry. Don't put it into a dryer. That'll just mess it up. It is rubberized, so putting it into a dryer will mess it up. You can wash it, regular warm water and soap, rinse it off, hang it to dry. So when you want to wash it, if you look on the back here, if you pull this back piece off and you look down, you can actually see here, it allows you to slip it out on this little gap here. And so you can take it out, wash it, hang it to dry, and put it back on. Don't forget to adjust it to the size that's comfortable for you. Too loose, it might drop off, and you don't want this drop, hit a stone or something on a rock, and then you're done. So make sure that it is on your head, nice and secure. Don't over tighten it. Find a good comfort range for it. Keep it there, and remember that range. Don't adjust it. This can handle rain, that sort of thing. They say you can soak it in water, drop it in water for about 30 minutes at 1 meter. If you drop it and grab it and pull it out, shake it off, it should be just fine. In the rain, no problem there. Obviously, if you look at the instructions, it does have operating ranges, like maximum temperature, minimum temperature. Make sure you look at that, and it is going to meet what you want. If you're going to be out in the Sahara Desert and it's going to get up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit in the middle of the night, this might struggle. You want to check to make sure it will meet your range of temperature, operating temperatures. Hopefully, this guy will work as well as the last one that I had. Just so sorry I lost that one. I really liked it. This one, a lot simpler to use. Very nice. And the price, well, I paid that much for it. And if you think that's expensive, have a look at some other lights that can do what this does. They're bigger, bulkier, heavier, require a lot more control on it. Value, very good. And from experience, I know they last. So there you go. Black Diamond. Have a look at their stuff. I'll put a link below so you can just head over to their store and just have a look through and see what they have. What can I say? Oh yeah. Like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back again soon. Right now, I'm putting together a shopping list for my trip. Anything I come up with that I haven't shown you before, I'm sure I will show you. Just saying. You all take care now. And thanks for watching. It's appreciated. Take care. Be safe out there. Bye. Here I am on the low mode. Now I'm going to hold the button in and we'll get it to get really bright. Went too far. You can see the difference. Now if I hit the little button, full bright. quite a difference. I'm going to change over to the red light now. There's your red light mode. Now I can change the brightness and the dimness. Get it go brighter. So you get the idea.